Hello guys, just thought you might find it interesting to see my Factorio factory. So we're down in the bottom corner here, and this is my solar power region here. You can see I have kind of a mess, can't even get through. This is just kind of the outskirts of my base. And here's one of my many productions, projection or setups here. We have quite a bit of territory here, and here we're coming in on the initial part of my base where I first started here. Right up here where my base initially started, but you can see it's kind of gone since then. And this is some final production here. And we'll start out with taking a look at that is getting around. Taking a look at some of my steel plate operations. This particular setup is actually strictly for producing steel. It's all that steel plate or iron plate gets used for is produce steel plates. I have some exclusive copper plate to copper wire setups too. I'm currently producing, well, I've peaked at about 10K copper wire per minute. Probably closer to 8 or so right now. You can take a look. Yeah, 9,000 copper wire per minute. And this is my initial power set here. This little one right here. This was my first string of power engines. As you can see, I've significantly expanded that. That's my now no longer my primary power, but my secondary power still. I built this base entirely without trains. To the north, they have one other area of this coal and iron collection. But welcome to the beginning of my initial base. I'm still using steel furnaces here, as you can see. They meet my needs mostly, but I've supplemented as time gone on here. Here you can see some of the supplement income coming from the various newer setups that I have down the southern part of the base here, which I've added to some, produced more steel and copper wire and green chips, which again, if I go back into my processing here, my production, I'm at about 3,000 green electric circuits per minute, and using about that a minute too. Still not near enough production. Here, this is my main bus that we're walking all over here. So I've overproduced a lot of product. As it's Factorio and Infinite Map, I'm not terribly concerned about overproducing stuff. Once you set up, you know, I set most of it to be capped at a certain production, so not using any actual. I've produced almost everything to be available to the robotics network. As you can see, my robots are supplying me with some ammo that I've used up. And I've automated pretty much nearly every aspect of and automatically producing nearly everything. There's some things I chose not to produce. Like I said, I haven't set up any train rail at all on this one. I actually do intend on adding train. and I'll demonstrate why here in a little bit. So here we go. I've actually completed all the research on this map, so that's actually all wasted materials there. There's nothing more I can do with any of it. You can see I've gone through quite a bit of ammo. I have more turrets than I can take a stick at. I'm actually going to put some of this back. All. You can see I have plenty of alien artifacts. I've been doing a lot of hunting and trying to get my um, blue chip production up right now. The next step. I have blue chip production, but it's so low that it's almost useless. It takes about 2, maybe 3 hours, I think, to launch a rocket. Well, 4 rockets, so maybe about an hour a rocket with my current blue chip production, which is way too slow. So you can see I have pretty much near everything. If I step down here, you can actually see my storage tanks from my various oil storage tanks. And everything's pretty much maxed out on those as well. As you can see, my circuit board's pretty detailed. Here's my liquid processing area, red chip processing. I'm actually using the logistics bot to ferry some product as well. So we had a few attacks up here. So ammo back into these guys. And once, I guess what I failed to point out here is I actually landfilled this whole section. So across the whole lake, it actually makes for an easily defended place in landfill costs because both sides landfill you can't really see. Um, Once I bring the map up here, once I get to the end of my factory, I will demonstrate. You'll be able to see clearly. Here you can actually see that I produced red, green wire, and all the logic circuitry. Never hooked it up or even figured out how it works yet. This is only my second playthrough on Factorio, so. And yeah, there's my red chip production. You can see green chip. Actually, stop carrying that farther down the line. I may bring it farther. These are supplemental lines alongside the main green chip line just to keep it full. I have everything, more logistic bots and you can shake and stuff like that. And quite full too. And that's actually have them auto filling themselves into the system as needed too. So yeah, plenty of those to go around. Um, we've been walking alongside. This is my main power network. It runs almost the whole length of my factory. You can see in the mini map. Yes, and I'm sure some of you who are efficiency players are screaming, "Yeah, this is incredibly inefficient." You're absolutely right. It's awesome, awesomely long and complicated. You can see I use 2 or 3 primary builds for building my templates for building my factory, um, and that served me pretty well all the way down to the end. And here we come to my final production area for the bus. Comes to an end. Take off at the end there. blue tip production. And my final rockets, which have not launched yet, but we're at 79% for this guy, 50% for that one, and 34%, and 37%. And they've been running for about 2 hours. So, and let me pull back out here, kind of get a visual cue of where the end of my base ends here, except this isn't the end of my base any longer. I will switch to map mode, and you can see I actually own this entire region here, and I have now recently cleared out this whole section for expansion. And I plan on clearing out these sections off the edges here, and that'll put most everything outside of the pollution bounds, and they shouldn't. Fighter attacks should reduce soon. So that's my base. I'll run you back. You can enjoy her from a 30,000 foot view here, I guess. That's my factory in Factorio. No trains. Entirely belt and robot driven. Yes, my guys, he's all the way upgraded, so he my vision and the whole works. So other than I didn't put multiple whatever running suits or whatever, so he's a little slow with the run, but otherwise he's pretty good. And yeah, I haven't learned how to use those logic gates and so forth. It's funny, I do programming for a living, but stayed away from the logic gates, which I guess I play for fun. Maybe I don't want to do any more programming for my game, but anyway. And I think we're coming to the end here. And I guess I will sign off from here. Have a great day.